So let me ask you this. Why would you deal with all the mayhem of buying a house in this housing market, this crazy housing market in 2021, when you could go out and buy land, which has a lot less demand on it, and build your own home on it?
I'm gonna build it myself.
And you're probably thinking, well, it's pretty obvious. It's costly, it takes a lot of time, it's really challenging. There are so many unknowns that you can deal with when building a home. And to be honest, as a real estate agent, I generally, up until this point, wouldn't recommend my clients go this route unless they had a family builder or they were a builder themselves or really knew the ins and outs of building a home on a plot of land. Well, luckily, the times, they are a-changing. Traditionally, if you want to build your own home, you'd have to go to a real estate agent to help you buy the land. You'd have to go to an architect to help draw up some plans for you, go to a builder to actually build the plans. Then you'd have to find a good lender that can get really creative with a construction loan to give you exactly what you're looking for. But here's the challenge. Each of these parties are so segmented from one another that you could really run into issues down the line. The real estate agents aren't savvy with building codes or knowing if land is buildable. And same with architects. They don't know about building cost or if land is buildable either. So you really need to have the builder involved with the entire process. And to make it even more difficult to obtain that construction loan, you're gonna have to have plans in place and costs associated with those plans before you're ever gonna get approved. The truth is, to make it easy, you need to have a team around you of people that are working together to help you get the land, create the plans, and build the property all together so you don't run into delays or even major issues associated with not being able to build where you wanted to build, not being able to build the size of a house that you wanted to build. Really, what's missing from the traditional way of building a home is all these segmented parties. They need to be cohesive. You need to have a team together that is helping you every step of the way and understands everything you need to know associated with building that home. So while doing some research on building a home, I ran across this company called Simply Buildable last week. Their mission statement is to make building a home as simple as buying a home. I was so interested, I actually reached out immediately and I was able to hop on a Zoom call with their CEO, Nick Parisi, to figure out all the ins and outs of exactly what they have to offer. Simply Buildable basically streamlines the entire process of buying a house into 3 easy steps, from locating the land to designing the property to building the property. They keep it all in-house, so it's really easy to work with. It's kind of like hitting an easy button for building a house.
That was easy.
The way this starts is you're going to work with their real estate broker who goes around in your desired area to find a lot of land that is perfect to build on. And they aren't just going to point at a piece of land and say, yep, this looks pretty good. They're going to run what they call a 16-point audit on the land to make sure that it is buildable so you can keep the cost down and it's ideal for you to build your dream home on. This is where you make sure you aren't going to run into a major issue down the line when you finally find out that that land is not actually buildable or is way too difficult or costly to build on. And this is where it gets really exciting for me. When I'm working with my clients as a real estate agent here in San Diego, I can work with a Simply Buildable team. We can find the land together and I can help negotiate those deals along the way. And here's the thing that really blew my mind. In a market with record low inventory, lots of land for sale in San Diego have gone up 900% in the last 12 months. 900%. And on average, that land is staying on the market for 119 days before being sold, which means you more than likely are not going to have to go into crazy bidding wars going 150, 200, 300,000 over asking. You aren't going to have to deal with that when you're buying land. And once a land is secured, then you're going to work with the Simply Buildable team. You're going to move on to the next 2 stages, which is designing and building your dream home to your exact specifications. All right, so that's great. They can build your house, but what are the negatives? There's always negatives, right? Yes, there are some negatives with this process, or at least some things that you need to keep in mind. First off, this process is going to take around 12 to 18 months from beginning to end. So if you're looking for something to move into right away, this is not the way to go. But if you have some more flexibility, depending on your situation, I mean, the reality is in this housing market, trying to buy a resale home, it might take 4 to 6 to 8 months anyways. I just got an offer accepted for clients that have been working for the last 12 months trying to buy a house in San Diego. If you have the flexibility, this is a great way to go. The next negative is going to be the cost. So it's going to be around 10 to 15% more expensive to build a home versus buying a resale home. The reality is, with this market, it has gone up 15.8% in the last 12 months. By the time this video is released or a couple months down the road, they could be a lot closer to being the same price. So I think they're moving more and more along to being closer to the same price with just the way the market is moving right now. And lastly, you need to expect to spend at least $1 million throughout the course of this project with Simply Buildable. Again, you can get loans for this stuff. And just to kind of break it down a little bit, They anticipate you're going to spend around 25 to 30% of your budget on the raw land. The rest is going to go into design and building your dream home. If you're just looking for the cheapest builder in San Diego, this isn't Simply Buildable. In fact, you probably put them somewhere right in the middle. They're not the most expensive. They're not the cheapest. They're right in the middle. You're still going to get luxury. You're still going to get top of the line. You're going to get a beautiful, beautiful home, and you're going to get a streamlined process that is going to be worth the cost. All right, if you want to learn more, you can always head over to simplybuildable.com. They get into a lot more detail on what the process is like, what you can expect, some example properties that they are in the process of building and have built. And the great thing is, if you want a second opinion throughout the process without spending an extra penny out of pocket, myself and my team work with Simply Buildable. We will together, combined, help you find and negotiate the best deal on the land, and we'll be second opinions for you throughout the entire process. And we'd love to do it. I'd love to see someone go through this process and build their dream home. So if you're interested in that, all my info is down below. Just shoot me a message and I'm happy to chat. And if you're thinking, well, with $1 million, I could get a luxury property in San Diego, you might be mistaken a little bit. What I would recommend is check out this video I did on what $1 million gets you in San Diego. It gives you a really good idea of what you can expect to get if you want to buy a resale home in San Diego. I really appreciate you watching this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And if you ever have any questions on real estate in San Diego, I'm your guy. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.